All right, we are going to talk a little bit tonight about putting on a sip and see. I'm sure some of you guys have already done one before, but I've put together kind of a list of different tips and advice that I've gotten from different videos and talking to people, things that have worked really well for people, things that have worked well for me. Y'all, live events are so powerful. When you're in a room with somebody and you hear live testimony, your belief just automatically goes up. You're more believable. They can see it. They can feel the belief when they're in the room with you. I'm a huge advocate of doing live events, live trainings for your team even. So this is something that I really enjoy. And guys, I'm not really a people person. I don't really like social events. I've done other MLM companies and I quit because I hated doing parties. So this is very odd for me, but I actually really love Sip and Seeds because it's not high pressure for people to buy right then. You don't feel like you're obligated to do something, or you shouldn't feel like you're obligated to do something just by showing up. Normally it's just a good time, good conversation, good chance to get to know people. So when you start thinking about doing a sip and see, there's 3 questions that you want to answer. What is your goal? What are you wanting to accomplish with the event? Are you wanting to sign up ambassadors? Are you wanting to get customers? Are you wanting to do both? Are you wanting to do more of an informational event? Are you focused on the products? Are you focused on the business? So what is your goal with the event? And who is your audience? Who your audience is may help answer what your goal is. If it's a bunch of college students, you might be talking more about the business. If it's a lot of family members that might be diabetic or have a lot of health issues, you're definitely going to focus more on the products. So each one's going to be a little bit different. So who is your audience? Who are you trying to attract? Who are you doing it for? And also, where are you having it? Your venue says a lot about your event. I like doing smaller sip and sees inside of homes. It's more comfortable. People are more at ease usually because it's not a intimidating kind of business atmosphere. You're just sitting around in someone's living room talking about life-changing stuff. So no pressure. So I like doing it small ones where it's more personable in homes. I've been to some in hotels. Y'all, when the Heffleys first moved here about a year ago, they did a sip and see in Russellville, their first one. And it was standing room only in a hotel conference room. It was insane. There were a lot of people that probably came in and left, and they were never even seen because it was so big. It was a great event, but it was a bit bigger than something that I think I could handle. You can also do it in places like I have them once they got too big for my house. I started doing them at the church where we go to church, just using a room there. And so that has a lot to do with your event. If it's going to be more casual, probably if it's in your home, if it's in a conference center, hotel conference room or something, you're probably going to be a little bit more formal. So those are your 3 main questions. What's your goal? Who's your audience? And where are you going to have it? Once you get those answered, then everything else is kind of up to content. And there's kind of a basic outline that I like to use for sip and sees. And it kind of covers everything that you want to get through in a sip and see. You can do it in different orders. It doesn't matter what your order is, but you want to cover testimony. I like to do live testimonies if possible. So when I do a sip and see, I want to make sure that there's a couple of people there that have testimonies that they can share. If that's not an option, it's okay. There are so many testimonies that you can borrow. So you can borrow them, you can throw them in a PowerPoint with a picture and do a brief description of what the testimony is, or read a testimony. You don't want to overwhelm people, so I would pick a few key testimonies. Typically, I like to stick with about 3. When I share my testimony, it usually has a lot to do with chronic pain. I like to share one about gut health. So if there's someone available that has a thyroid testimony, or a diabetic testimony, or something like that that is related to gut health, I like to share a testimony like that. And I also like to share a business testimony. And that kind of gets your bases covered. And that kind of goes into the next thing, is I like to talk about gut health. That is kind of the bread and butter. That's probably a bad analogy, but that's kind of what the whole company is centered around, is gut health. You've got the triplex that targets gut health. Your gut is the center of your health. And that's what Plexus takes care of. That is huge. There's nothing else like this on the market. So I like to talk about what gut health is. I don't want to get into too gross of details. People don't really like to hear that they have things living inside of them that are like roaches. That kind of grosses them out sometimes, and that might be a turnoff. So you may not want to get into like the nitty-gritty detail, but share enough about it to where they can kind of comprehend a little bit about what gut health is, and then talk about some of our products. I like to highlight the triplex because that's what targets gut health. So those are the main products that I talk about, is the 3 products in the triplex. I usually mention a couple other products. Like, I like people to know that we have an omega product, that we have products that assist with weight loss, that we have a wonderful multivitamin. And of course, I always talk about the pain products because that was the hook for me. So I like to mention that we have other products to show that we have a variety, but I focus mainly on the 3 products in the triplex. You don't want to overwhelm people with a ton of product information. All right. So we've got our testimonies, we talk about gut health, we talk about products, and then you're going to want to talk about ways to buy. We have 3 ways to buy, so a brief description of what those ways are, and then highlight being an ambassador, because that is, well, once again, that's our bread and butter. That's what gets us paid in the end. So we're going to want to talk to them because it is the best option. It's the cheapest option. I can almost bet that most of you guys signed up because it's the cheapest option. If they're interested in the products, that's the way they're going to get the products cheapest. I like to talk a little bit about that so they understand they don't have to work the business, that there's not a trick to this. There's not. I mean, I looked into this like crazy. My husband, he researched it before we signed up because I was looking for the fine print. I was looking for the catch. There's no catch. There's no fine print. Y'all, this is crazy. Companies like this don't exist until now. So I like to talk about that, about the opportunity of signing up as an ambassador, not just for the business, but also for a discount. But then, of course, I also go into the business opportunity. In a Sip and See event like this, you can do the wow shock factor of, hey, you can get a Lexus and you can go to Hawaii and you can talk about all that stuff. But most people are going to think, yeah, I'll never get there. I did. I never thought that I would get as far as I have gotten. So people aren't really going to relate with that to begin with. They might be like, hey, that would be awesome. But what's really going to get them is saying, you can make $500 extra a month. This could take care of your car payment every month. You know, not only could you get your own products paid for, but you could have a little spending money on the side. So that's going to be a more realistic way of bringing the business opportunity up. It's very intimidating thinking, hey, if I get to a certain level, then I could be making 6 figures. That's exciting, that's awesome, but that's also really intimidating. That's a lot of pressure. So I like to keep it, kind of small and say, hey, there's an infinite possibility with this company. But if you just want to make $500, you can make $500 a month and I'll help you get there. But if you want to do more, we can do more. So I don't like to put the pressure on, but I like to show them that they can do whatever they want without any pressure. So that's the basic outline: testimonies, gut health, products, ways to buy, and the business opportunity. Now within that, that's just kind of the structure of the event. Within that, there's a bunch of different things that you can do, different ideas. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit fun because I love party planning. I don't really like going to parties, but I like planning them. So this is where it gets exciting for me. You can decorate. You can make it cute. I suggest that you make it appealing. For you guys, it doesn't have to be cute and pink. It can be manly, but put some effort into it. If you've got it in your house, put the underwear up and, get the socks off the couch. But, make it an appealing place. Put some effort into it. Make people think that you care, because you do. You should anyway. I'm hoping you do. So put some effort into it. I like to use some props. Like I have empty bottles of all the different products that I take to events and sit out so they can see the products. This is what it looks like. I know the first time that I ordered the Ease cream and it came in, I was like, holy cow, that bottle is tiny. I was expecting something much bigger from a picture. I was like, I can't believe I just spent that much money on this tiny little bottle. But it lasted like 2 or 3 months. And so I like to have the products there so people can kind of get a realistic view of it. And plus, if they see it, then it's not just a picture in a catalog. It's not just something that you're talking about. It makes it a little bit more real. I'm a visual person, so I really like that. So if you haven't already started collecting bottles, then I would suggest collecting bottles for your events. And if there's a product that you don't use, just post on one of the team pages and say, hey, if somebody, I don't use Boost. And so I posted on the team page and said, hey, if somebody has an extra empty bottle of Boost, when you get done using your Boost, can I have a bottle? And I think I got it from Jean. So make your collection, figure out what you don't have, and as you add products and stuff. And if you are just getting started, then, I go through products every month and I throw away bottles. So if you want me to help, save some bottles for you, I don't care to do that. Just let me know. All right. And also, of course, samples. I love, love, love the lotion samples. I keep these in my purse at all times. At work, somebody's like, oh, my neck's killing me today. I'm like, I got something for that. So I keep those samples with me at all times, but they're also good for events like this. You can lay them out on the table. You can give them to people, and then they get something that they can take home with them, that they don't have to win in a door prize or anything like that. It's just a takeaway that they can have, and they're actually pretty inexpensive. And of course, the slim samples, it's a sip and see. So you want to give them something to sip. You can get the little shot glasses, or the Heffleys at a booth that they had. They had I don't know, it looked like little communion cups that they use. So you can just use little cups, and people don't have to have a big chug of the drink, just enough for them to taste it and see what they think. But we want to put our best foot forward. So we want to make sure that we mix it up right. Don't mix it up 3 or 4 hours before, because then it's going to start tasting weak. Mix it up right before the event. Maybe chill it or put it on some ice or something like that. I think it tastes better cold. So I always try to make sure that it's chilled, so it tastes best. And you want them to take a drink of it and be like, oh, that's refreshing, instead of, oh, that's lukewarm liquid. So give them something to enjoy.
I know that when I first started doing them, I was like, how did they make that much like Slim in a bottle? And so I figured out like I always do a little over half of a water bottle in my Slim every morning. So I would pour out the water into the sink or whatever and get the right amount in the water bottle, put my Slim packet in there, shake it up, and then pour it into, I use the new modernized milk jug or whatever that you can get at Walmart. And so that's what I always take to my Sip and See. So I'd pour the water bottle. It takes 2 of my half water bottles to fill that up. So I'd mix it in the water bottle, put it in there, and do 2 of those, and put it in the refrigerator. So like I know that sounds so dumb. Like, well, duh, it's how you mix it up. But I was always like, how did they get that Slim in that bottle the right amount? Like, how many did that take? Like 10 Slim? Like, that sounds so dumb, but it was like amazing to me. So, in case you're wondering, that's how they do it.
Yeah. And your milk jug is really cute. I need to get something like that. Like a glass.
Heather has one now, so that's one of mine Heather's.
Yeah, I need to get something like that that's cuter than just, a water bottle, which is what I have. Let me see. An idea that I saw the other day that I'm going to do for the next event. Normally I do like fruit, or probably shouldn't, but I do like cookies or something like that, just to have kind of a refreshment. Not so much if I'm going to do it in a public building, but if I do it in my house, I want to have some kind of refreshments. I'm Southern, people need food. So I like to have something there. I saw somebody the other day was talking about doing P96 protein balls as the snack at a Sip and See. And it shows that, you don't just have to have, you don't just mix up a shake with the P96. Like, there's recipes for it. It kind of shows the diversity of Plexus and different things that you can do. I have not made them myself. Christy Christensen made a batch the other day, and she said they were pretty good. I need to make some. The only thing that you need to watch for on that is most of the recipes that I've seen include peanut butter. People have peanut allergies, so if you make some with peanut butter, try to find a recipe or something, or have some kind of option, just in case you have somebody with allergies that can't have it. And that's just kind of a courtesy thing that will actually go a long way for someone if they realize that you thought it out beforehand.
I also thought it would be cool to do like a Sip and See version of the P96 as well, like having those set out, maybe in a little bigger cup.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be kind of neat too. Yeah. I saw that P96 ball thing.
Yeah. And that kind of depends on your crowd too.
Yeah.
Because some crowds aren't going to be interested in that, but like a younger crowd or like fitness people.
You could market. I mean, you could do a Sip and See. Like if you had a Sip and See already, and you're like, I'm thinking really particularly of Haley, like if she, or even Ashley Rogers, like, well, not Rogers Fountain now, her gym people, you could really market it. Like I'm having I don't know what you could call it, but some kind of theme. You could theme it that way. Yeah. Pretty cool.
It really is. It's endless what you can do with this. Okay, and also product literature. I always, let's see if you can see it good. I order these from, it's My Plexus print from your back office, and they're pretty cheap, but they have just sorry guys, we have dog issues. They have like a review of, or a brief summary of all the different products in it. So it's a way to put something in the hands of everybody that's there that has all the different products listed. Plus, it becomes personalized on the back. So you're also sending your information home with them. So I like that idea. If you don't have brochures like that, you can print something out and do a handout. I like to send them home with something that has all of the products listed. So when they're thinking about the event later, they have something that they can flip through and be like, oh yeah, they do have something for pain, or, oh, they have a multivitamin. I forgot. Oh, there's a kid's multivitamin. That's pretty cool. She didn't talk about that, but I might look into that for junior. So I like to send something home with them. All right. Another thing that is really popular for Sip and Seas that gets a lot of attention because people love free stuff is drawings. I like to put together door prizes, and I don't have any to show you, but I usually get just like a little plastic baggie and put some like crinkle paper in it. And I like to stick like a P96 and a couple of the E samples and maybe a Slim in it. It's pretty inexpensive. It gets more products in their hands so they can try more products. You can also order like the Plexus water bottles off the back office for like $8. You can do all kinds of
Has really cheap, nicely made, like, inspirational notebooks and stuff.
Mhm.
I always have a lot of those in my office, my goodie basket. I always talk about that I grab for Sip and Seas and take with me.
Yeah, it doesn't have to cost much. It doesn't have to be much. People just like to win free stuff. So have, depending on the size of your party, 3 or 5 different door prizes, spread them out throughout the event. I'm horrible at remembering to do them throughout the event, so it never fails. I'm like about to, like, people are starting to leave, and I'm like, wait, I have prizes and stuff. So, try to keep it within the presentation, kind of spread it out, and that kind of keeps people interested and energized and stuff throughout it. That's something I really need to work on. I also usually offer an incentive for people that come. So what I generally do is if someone comes to one of my events, I offer to reimburse $20 back to them on their sign-up fee if they join as an ambassador within like a 2-week span. I like to give them at least 2 weeks because sometimes people have to wait until they get paid. They can't do it that night. But so I like to give them just a little bit of time, just as a, thank you for coming. I'd like to do something, give back a little bit. And that usually works out pretty well. Something that Alicia did at hers last week, which her and Sarah had a Sip and See, and everybody that attended either ordered or signed up as an ambassador. So I'd say that was pretty successful. And she said that the number one thing that she did that helped encourage people to sign up there was they did a drawing for anyone that signed up or ordered, got put into a drawing for a free bottle of Edge. That's something that she's doing at all of her Sip and Seas. She's not on the call tonight because she's doing a Sip and See right now. Y'all be praying because she's working for Fast Start Gold, and by golly, I think she's going to get there. So, having an incentive, having door prizes, doing a drawing to encourage people to take action that night is also a good thing because people get really excited when they're there, but once they, get back to real life, the excitement kind of fades a little bit. And if you can get people signed up that night and then they get excited again when their welcome pack comes in, and keep the excitement level up, and that's going to help them realize this is actually doable. Okay, and finally you've got technology. I'm not good with technology. Every time I use technology, there's a problem, but it's very useful. I still try almost every time to use some sort of technology. There are all kinds of different PowerPoints that you can use, that you can, borrow or steal. I have one that I've made that I can send to you guys, and you can use for an example if you want. But if you use a PowerPoint, be sure and personalize it. I helped Jody with the Sip and See last week, I think it was. And in that PowerPoint, I used Jody's testimony. I used my testimony because we were there in the room. People aren't going to care about Joe Schmo that, sure, they're your friend, but I don't know them. They're going to be more interested in people that they know or that they see in person that they can connect with as a real person. So personalize it, make it about you. It's a good idea. Like I usually put in a slide about, I think I have a slide that has Jessica getting her cars, both of them. And because, she lives here in Russellville where I do my Sip and Seas, and she lives right down the road from me. I'm on her team. So that's kind of relatable to show that somebody right here in this community is this successful. So be sure and personalize it, make it your own. And also there's some really good videos that you can show. I usually only show one video if I do show a video, because I get distracted in videos, so I naturally assume that other people do too. But there are some really good videos that Plexus has put out. Plexus has a YouTube channel. You can go on it, or you can just get on YouTube and search the best ones for Sip and Seas, I think. There's one that goes over the products, and there's one called Plexus Journeys that's really good, that kind of talks a little bit about the company. And then my favorite for Sip and Seas is the one that I normally show is Plexus Freedom. And it's talking about the business opportunity, and it's interviews of Diamond ambassadors talking about what the opportunity has been for them, how it's changed their lives. So write those down. Be sure and look on YouTube if you haven't watched those, and watch them, because they're also good to send to people. And then finally, the last thing I want to leave you with is watch your time. It's really easy when you get excited and you start talking about something that you're passionate about to go on and on and on. I do it a lot. But you do not want to overwhelm people. You don't want to throw a Plexus on them. You don't want to disregard their time. Be respectful of their time. They're giving you part of their time for the day. They're taking time away from their families, taking time away from doing other things to be there. And a lot of people are going to be there just to support you. So be respectful of their time. Try to keep it an hour, hour and a half tops. I've been to events that have gone on for 2 or 3 hours, and it's exhausting. It doesn't matter that I'm passionate about it. It's still exhausting. So be very mindful of the time that people are giving to you and respect that. All right, we've got about 7 minutes left on the call. Lacey, is there anything that you want to add?
I think that you covered everything pretty well.
Well, by golly.
I can't think of anything that I would add to that.
Good deal. Well, does anyone else have any tips, anything that they've tried that's worked well that you want to share? Or questions?
Heather did one a few months ago. Definitely wasn't a couple months ago, but a few months ago, and she had all teachers there. And so she themed hers towards teachers, and so her theme, she did teacher testimonies of people on our team and people that she knew, and so that went really well.
That's really
cool. I think that just knowing your audience, something that someone Josh called me in the middle of this, so it kicked me off. But so you may have already said this. If you did, I apologize. But something that someone said on a call a few weeks ago that really stood out to me was keeping them small goes a long way. When I first started doing them, and when only like 5 or 6 people showed up, or 4, I just felt so discouraged, like it was a failure of an event, and I wasted my time, and I was wasting their time, and I was wasting my ambassador's time. That was such a selfish and stupid thought. And really, that's the perfect amount. And if you have 3 people there, if you have 2 people there, 4, really less than 5 is a really good amount, because you can really interact with those people and talk with them, get to know them. And Heather, I think, had 5 there, and it was just such a good amount of people. And a lot of them signed up. We all got to chat. It didn't go over on time. And so when I heard that a few weeks ago, I just felt like it was just really great to hear that and to know like, oh, we're doing something right, and it was encouraging. So I really shifted my
Amy
mindset.
Paul that was talking about that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Amy Paul.
And they're kind of successful, so I would
totally.
So,
but to hear them say that was like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
It really changed my whole mindset on like actually how many people I even want at a sip and see.
Right. It is possible for it to be too big.
Yeah.
It kind of changes the purpose of it if it gets too big.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder on you to do more events, but the more I do this, the more I realize that doing a specialized event for like Lacey was talking about, doing like one for younger people that work out, and maybe doing one for moms, stay-at-home moms, or doing one for teachers. If you are reaching a certain demographic, then you can be more specific and you're going to appeal to the people more. So it might be a little bit more work and more commitment for you in the long run, but it would really pay off.
I know that last year Timmy Yancey did one where they went to Fort Smith, which I work right there close to Fort Smith, and I think it was during the professional development week, and they brought them lunch. So it was like probably 30 teachers there, but they brought them lunch during PD and did a 30-minute sip and see. And so they paid for their lunch, explained Plexus, and had like 14 teachers sign up right there. And I thought, that's genius.
Yeah, it is.
You feed teachers, like, yeah, I'm not leaving the room. I'll listen to everything they have to say. So I thought that's a pretty good idea.
Can you imagine what would happen if you fed college students?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it just made me think outside the box a little bit on that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have just a few minutes.
That may be more of an opportunity meeting, but it made me think a little bit.
Yeah. We have just a couple more minutes. Anyone else have a question or thought?
Thank you for being on. I'm so proud of you guys for jumping on.
All right.
Aaron's been so faithful every week since he's joined.
If I remember, I'll post those videos I was talking about on the team pages, and so you guys can know which ones I'm talking about. And I will. I have a few documents that I've been using for, like, one about gut health, one about the triplex. That are good handouts to have, and I'll share those on the team pages too. Don't let me forget. Will you remind me if I forget?
I'm sure.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of the week.
See y'all later.